Hello, welcome to my introduction to integration. If you want a better grasp of this lesson, I suggest you watch an introduction to differentiation first because there's some key aspects that you need to know. So let's look at the case of differentiation. If we've got the general function ax to the power of n, our differential should look a bit like this. An x to the power of n minus 1. This is because we've took the power and times it by the coefficient represented here. Then we've subtracted 1 from the power, given n minus 1. But integration is the exact opposite of what we're doing here. Here's the general integration sign, so you'll know it's integration. Then we add 1 to the power, and so we get n plus 1. Then we divide the coefficient by the n plus 1. Let's take the case of y equals x. Essentially, y equals x is just x to the power of 1. So when we add 1 to the power, we get y equals x squared. Then when we divide it by 2, we get something like this. You can either write it like this, which is easier, because you can say x squared over 2, or you can write it how I do, which is y equals a half x squared. Now, what is integration? Because we know differentiation is finding the gradient of a line or curve at any point. Integration is finding the area under a curve between two limits, for this instance 0 and 4. Okay, so what happens if we're asked to integrate an equation and put in the limits? Okay, so let's see if we can do it with y equals x squared plus x. So let's do it between limits 0 and 4. This is how we would write the question. So here's your graph, and here's the question. I equals 4 naught x squared plus x to the respect of x. Okay, so we would integrate as normal, given a third x cubed plus a half x squared, but now it's in brackets. And it's in brackets because we haven't put the limits in yet. Now we'll move on, put the limits in, and we subtract. We'll put the 4 in both of the x's, and then we subtract the 0 in both of the x's from the 4. Right, because it says 0, it turns out to be I equals 88 over 3, which would give the area somewhere along here. On the screen you'll now see 3 equations. Your task is to now integrate each one of them. With this one respect to v, this one respect to r, and this one's also respect to r. Okay, and what I want you to do is see if you can find a link or equation that you should know. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, visit my blog to see if you can find any text-based learning or if you can join my personal online tutoring classes.